to do with this modeling stuff is that we're going to look at how we can look at all the different types of functions that we've looked through so far, whether it's linear, quadratic, polynomial, exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric. So we have all these different models that we're going to be able to look at. And we'll be able to look at a data set and tell whether or not by its cycle and how it's shaped and how it's projected through, which model, what equation is going to be the best to show what we call line of fit. You guys actually have done this stuff a long, long, long time ago. We start out with lines, linear regression. We have two types of correlation. There's three types of correlation. You have what's called a positive correlation or a negative correlation. When you're thinking about linear, that means it's a line. What direction do you think the line is going if it's got a positive correlation? It's going up and to the right because it has a slope that's positive. What would the other one be?
Left and down.
It would have a negative slope. Left and down is up and right, isn't it? So you could have a positive correlation is that if the line's going this way. Now it doesn't mean that it's going to be a straight line. Well, sorry, it doesn't mean that the line is going to be given to you. What's going to happen is that you're going to be looking at data sets. And hopefully we all remember that data sets are magical bits of information that might be scattered out like a scatter plot that's showing that it looks like it's moving up and to the right. Remember scatter plots? Same basic thing. Same idea when you have negative correlation. That means it's probably doing this. It looks as though it appears that it's moving downward to the right. What do you think no correlation would look like?
It's just these two random.
Just random. There's no distinguishable pattern. Okay. Kind of like your life. That was a joke. But I'm back on track. I'm building you back up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the first one?
Positive.
Yeah, what's
It looks up and right. Data looks like it's moving up and right. Negative correlation with data looks like it's going down and right. No correlation. It's just everywhere. It's savoir-faire. It's everywhere. Which means one of the easiest things to do to figure out some correlation stuff is to talk about heights and weights. And I know you guys have probably all done heights and weights before as far as the scatter plot. Do you remember how to do this?
No.
Okay. So let's pick 7 people and tell me how tall you are and how much you weigh. Let's do this in inches.
Let's see. 5'1".
All right, so 5'11" is how many inches?
No way.
Math is hard.
It is.
Okay. Another. We need somebody shorter.
I am 5'8", which is 68.
SMRT.
And I weigh about 170 right now.
Because you're eating again.
What? You gained like 45 pounds. I swear.
145 to 170. Yeah. I thought,
Because you need to
That's
eat.
right.
Otherwise you're...
I thought he was 135. What the heck?
I weigh 135 pounds. No way.
Go, you're the tallest one in here, I think.
I'm like,
Not? What?
Jim.
Oh, yeah. He's...
Me
yeah.
and Jim and Tony.
76. I weigh 6'4".
How do you?
And then 185.
Well, 72, so it'll be 76. And what is it, 185?
Yeah.
Jim, you're only 15 pounds more.
Jim,
Oh, look at that.
I'm so right. 74
Okay.
inches.
Come on, I need a short person.
Can I go?
60.
You're
65.
short.
Technically, I'm
Hey, I just told you.
I said,
Never mind.
thank you.
Oh, she's right.
How tall are you?
We gotta see.
65 and 110.
All right. I need Probably need another tall person.
I want
All right.
74, or, yeah, 74 inches, and 178.
You guys need your exactos. Round it out, make my scatter plot a lot easier.
Well, technically, I had 164 point. Well, not 164. That was after practice. So right now, I probably like 169.5.
So you
Seriously, wrestling is just not good for your brain. I'm just kidding.
It's not good for anything
I'm messing with
other than wrestling.
you. And last but not least, uno más persona, por favor. That means one person.
Don't make me hate
How
this
tall am I? I'm
person.
6'3", so that's what, 75? And I'm 190. Well, there you go.
You guys are tall ones.
What's that?
Tall ones.
So, do you remember how to do excuse me, a scatter plot? Because I'm choking on coffee. No. Okay, let me show you.
I mean, I don't think it's that hard.
It's almost 10 inches taller than I am.
So, if we do this, a scatter plot is generally one quadrant.
Grab.
Height versus weight. Which way do you want to put what? Does it matter?
No.
No.
This is
Weight on the bottom, height as it goes up. I see what you did there. So we put our height versus weight. And now we just kind of scale it through. Am I going to start this at 0?
No.
That's gonna be a.
I could.
That'd be dumb.
I mean, I could do that because
And you just go up.
if
by
I'm
like
doing,
50.
we can go, yeah, we can do that and go up by 50s if we want. So we started at 0, go by 50s.
Ugh.
I mean, that's not a bad idea to go through that. And then what should we go by as far as heights?
10.
10s? I like the idea of 12s, because it's going by a foot, that's not bad. Because if we do 12s,
14.
Different feet. All right.
because then we're at 12, 24. Was it 84?
Seems about right to me.
Okay. And now he's kind of scatter plot-ish our values. It's weird because this went, this is first and this is second, so I want to say this is X, this is Y, but you guys flipped it on this.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you guys are all weird. Flip it really good.
What?
68, 170.
Okay, no need to.
It's actually working out rather well.
Seems like a foot tall.
It's not, it's pretty close there, isn't it? I mean, trying to get this. What correlation do you think this graph is showing?
Positive.
Why do you think so?
Going up.
So what you're saying is that generally speaking, in a rough random sample, the more you weigh, probably the taller you are.
Probably.
Could we have plotted it the other way and had height on the bottom, weights on the up and down, and done the same thing where the taller you are, the more you would weigh?
Am I the,
Kinda works the same.
am I the outlier?
Yeah, Kobe's
No.
the one that's.
It's still within range, and that's the idea. We start looking at stuff like this.
Why is there a chair? Randomly right.
Oh,
Why?
Oh, hey. I found that a long time ago, Kobe.
so when you did these things, you wanted to find what's called a line of best fit. You would just pick an idea of where do you think a line can be drawn that it encompasses both sides of the graph to make it look like it splits it symmetrically almost? And each person can have this a little bit different as far as picking out points then to write an equation. So if we wanted to do that, let's say I wanted to write an equation for a line of best fit. One that looks like it would be a pretty decent idea. What we would do is just pick 2 points and write the equation. Remember how to write the equation of a line given ordered pairs? Because aren't these just ordered pairs? Yeah.
It's the,
As far as it
root over something.
Choose 2 points and from there. So let's go back and, let me get this back. All right, so if we choose 2 points, let's say we pick this one and this one. Is everybody okay by picking those 2? Just for an idea, we kind of get a decent amount of points on both sides of that line.
Yeah.
So if we go back and figure out which ones those were, that was what, the 110 and the,
That's the
yeah, it was Alicia, so it was Alicia's and
reason.
Sauer's, right?
Yeah.
I think it was those 2. So yours was what again? I forgot.
69.
Yeah, it was 110 and 65. And then Sauer, yours was what, 185
Yeah.
and 76?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm putting it because we have our x values went with weights, heights went with the y values. Even though our table started out with flip-flop, it doesn't matter, it's still gonna work. You're just gonna write it in terms of slopes and stuff. So when you're write an equation of a line given 2 points, and that's what the modeling comes into play. You're looking at a real world example and you're creating some sort of a equation out of it. Slope, change in y over the change in x. Point slope, y minus y sub 1 equals your slope, x minus x sub 1. Solve for y. Hey, does this look familiar at all?
Oh no.
Watch this. Did you know that point slope form is a, h, and k for lines?
I do now.
Slope, change in y, change in x.
I forgot that. I forgot
I don't
that.
ever recall it being.
I was like
Triangle y.
Yeah, why is it a triangle?
Delta is the
Oh.
Greek letter for change. Change in y or change in x.
I didn't remember.
What's that?
No.
Minus come after you.
Poor guy.
He'll come after because he's the Greek guy. He's big. Gotta watch out for him.
Oh, me and Christ are tight. I did a speech about that.
How'd it go?
So choose your points. We did. Find the slope. So our slope here is going to be 76 minus 65 over 185 minus 110. What is that? 11 over 75. Well, that's an awesome slope, isn't it?
11 over 75. I don't like that.
Great. So there's your slope.
I could have been 25.
When you substitute in the point slope form, then you're going to get y minus. First of all, does it matter which of the 2 points you choose when you're working with point slope form?
No.
Nope. So we'll just use the first one. This equation is awful. And then just solve for y.
That's not good.
Yes. Thank you. So you're going to get some really, really, really ugly y-intercept here. Come have a seat.
That's the chair.
She tried.
I told you to keep it as far as I could, not this first one's going.
You could have kicked it that way.
Adjusted.
I get this great Y-intercept. It's just fantastic. You guys might have gotten the same.
Excuse me, sir, that's about. They don't even pass it
Oh, I forgot to subtract it, sorry. Sorry. That's what I say is the line of best fit.
Oh,
Again, you need to have a calculator, don't you?
well, yeah.
Are we just passing the chair around?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, when you were younger, they didn't want you to just calculate that much. But the older you get, the more you have to use a calculator. And the more they force you to use a calculator.
Until you get to trig, and then I say you can't have a calculator.
That's true.
Pass it around.
When we were younger, they'd be on the top of the thing, it'd be like, no calculator.
Or have the calculator with the X.
Yeah, everyone still uses the calculator.
So let's use our prediction. It says, oh, but we use it in terms of height. So let's predict if we have somebody's weight, let's predict their height. Ours is backwards here, so we wrote it in terms of weights. So who did we not pick for an ordered pair? Mikey. Opposite of down. Unless you're down, then that's the opposite of up. So we need to figure out your height in terms of your weight. What's your weight?
180.
180. So if we use this really large equation and use 180 for x, we should get his height. Let's check and see if we are close. 11 over 75 times 180 plus 733 over 15. 75 1/4 inches, which is roughly 6'3". You about 6'3"?
About.
Yeah.
Nice.
See how that works?
If it comes up to a fraction,
Look how happy he is.
that was cool.
Look, math, it actually has a use. Yay!
I got this.
The what?
Yeah. I don't know.
Good job.
Flip a sign.
Yeah, flip side.
Let's do Noah.
All right, Noah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you got?
170.
170. So we have to go back to 11 over 75 times 170. Add to it 733 over 15. 73.8 inches. I don't think you're 6'1".
I'm not 6'1".
So, unfortunately,
I wish.
you're a bit of an outlier. So this might be skewed more towards the tall people. Let's pick out some short people.
Woo! Tall people!
Short people. You're shorter. 115. All right, so 11, 115, divided by 75, plus 75, 733 over 15. You are 65 3/4 inches tall, so you are 5'5", almost 5'6".
Almost Kobe's height.
Hey, that's pretty close. Isn't it? You're about this tall.
Fucking such
Hey, you're the outlier.
You're about yay high.
It says I'm 3 inches smaller.
outlier.
Really outlier.
See?
I wish I was 6 foot.
Math. It has a use. All right, let's try a different one. Let's use our calculator.
Yes.
Let's use your calculator and let's do what's called linear regression. Okay. Now you guys all have those data sets written down, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we do. I have a little cheat sheet because we're going to kind of use this data set about regression stuff within the next couple of units, and we have this nice cardboard-ish page that kind of tells you how to do it. Now, don't tell 12th hour you guys get the cardboard one. They're going to get paper because I really don't like them all that much. It's like,
Really?
well,
12th hour bomber class?
no, they're not bummer. They just talk a lot.
We talk that much? We
talk.
No.
We learn sometimes.
There are fewer of you, I think.
I've been struggling.
No, actually, there's more of you here, but for some reason you guys don't study. It's early.
And
Is
still
it
don't
Christina?
understand.
Christina talking?
Yeah, it's Christina's fault.
I'm gonna tell her that.
Whoa.
Just laminated?
No.
Nice.
Whoa.
They're kind of laminated.
Kind of laminated.
Thank you.
I don't know if I know it's taking this time.
Hey, we got the one extra.
Wow.
Go.
Keep it.
So before we do anything, we need to clear out our lists. It tells us what to do.
We get to keep these
Yeah.
forever?
Yeah.
And ever?
Clear out.
Second, memory, and 4. Enter.
Or a list.
Why?
Oh, that's
Done.
6 for me.
You're all
Why are we clearing it? Because we're going to make new lists. We're just starting from scratch.
Okay.
Make sure there's no graphs. Go to your y equals, clear all that out.
Why you?
In case you have anything in
I
there.
had a square. Don't have
It's by the
to
plus
Like
sign.
literally it was just a square. It's on the square.
So what we're going to do is enter our data sets into L1 and L2. So here's how we do this. Second, quit. So we get out of that. Press stat. No, just press stat. You back out, so you're on a regular screen, hit stat. Edit.
Stat.
There's your L1 and L2. Now, our L1, when we put it in terms of x's. But remember that? We put that as, we put weights. L1 is your weights, L2 will be your heights, because you guys reversed it on our equations, okay? So we had our let's go back to that. Excuse me.
What is the height?
L1 was weight. Remember we did it backwards because you guys wrote in terms of weights. So L1 we're gonna put 137, 170, 185, 95, 110, and 78, and 190. L2,
Height.
71, 8,
So I need to figure out how to do it on my. 4.
Okay. Bless you. Bless you. Go ahead and exit out and hit your quit.
What?
Hit second quit. And now we want to hit second stat plot. Second y equals.
Whoa.
That's this thing's full.
You want to turn stat plot on. In order to do that, just hit enter. And now hit enter again, so that way the cursor is darkened on the on.
And what color should we make it?
Whichever color you like.
They have
Some of
a-
us have the options of
They
choosing
have some
colors.
magenta.
Magenta.
I'm gonna go with
Maybe
Now,
light
the
blue.
type of graph is up to you as
Light
well.
gray, medium gray,
There are a couple of different types. You've got your regular scatter plot, one that's connected. You've got your bar chart. You've got the box and whiskers, all that stuff. Usually just the first one is fine. Now, here they have your x values are going to be L1, your y values be L2. We could have entered it in opposite, but didn't define which one goes where later. It's not a big deal. So we do this. Now we have to adjust our window. That's the screwball thing that you guys have to get accustomed to. A lot of these scatter plots are all going to look a little bit different because your data sets are going to change. You're going to have to take into account where the data is. So our window view, if you hit window, right now it's set at probably a 10 by 10 square or something like that. We know that our X minimum, we have it at, what, 0? Our maximum is at 200. going by, the scale means you're going by 1 each time. So it might be a little bit difficult to see a decent scatter plot. Maybe we should do like we did earlier. Go by 25s or go by 50s. Remember how we did that?
Wrong one.
If I go by 50, it might show up a little bit different. This is how you play around with the screen size of how to make it show up better on your calculator. Y minimum obviously is going to be at 0. The maximum we had at what, 84? And when we did the rough sketch by hand, we went by 12s. It should show up again where it looks decently this way.
What's X?
Why do you pick
res?
84?
Just because that's the next one.
Oh, okay.
What was X res?
I don't remember.
Let's change it.
Oh, my.
Now press graph and it should work.
Whoa!
Okay.
Hey now. Hey, I'm the one that's like, what is yours doing?
Uh,
You tweaked.
Maybe you didn't change the color.
What if
Maybe
it's white?
maybe you put it at white.
That's the color of your graph.
I'm like the outlier over here. I'm like right here.
Where's your red?
I don't have this.
I don't know.
Where's your guys'
oh, my
graph?
plot's not on. That's why. I got to turn the
Hold
plot
on.
on.
Woo!
Hold on, I messed
Sweet.
up.
All
Hold on.
right, now we'll be all right.
That's alright, Kobe. Kobe
Yay!
messed up anyway.
I messed up. Hold on a second.
Sweet.
What are you doing?
Did everybody get a scatter plot?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I'll have to check you out another time.
I'm gonna look to see if it does have most of the same things.
Now, what we can also do here is, you know how we just cranked out by hand our line of best fit? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I put 10, not
Go to the
10.
Google. The Google will show you.
What? You did what?
I put 10, not 1.
So now, here's what's really cool.
I figured
The
it out.
calculator will actually will find the
There
line
we
of
go.
best fit for you by going through these steps. You've already done the entering in of L1 and L2. If we press stat again, because you have everything in there, hit stat. Now I want to do calculate. Move it over 1 spot. We know that this is a linear regression model because I'm telling you, it looks like a line. Which one of these options should we choose?
Lin Reg.
Lin Reg.
Lin Reg. Good call. What do you think it would be if it's a quadratic regression?
X. What's right?
I would pick that. Cubic, quartic, all these things. So
Which Lin
the
Reg
difference is in here, nice. The difference is in here is going to be when we look at our data sets, what is the graph doing? If it's quadratic, it's going to be up like a cup or down like a frown. If it's cubic, it's doing the little loop-to-loop, remember the change in directions and stuff? You'll see things like that. So we choose option 4.
There's an 8.
We, what's that?
There's another one.
What about the other Lin Regs?
There's another Lin Reg.
I know, we're only worried about this one. That's it.
What's this one?
Sorry.
So now, it's okay. So now, right now, they have all this in here. I think we just hit enter all the way through.
Calculate.
It should come up with a,
Wait, where did you get to the Lin Reg?
Oh, yeah.
Like you got the whole thing.
yours should be now, I think, in the y equals
Is
tab.
this one on this calculator?
Hey, you like them?
Yeah, hit enter. There you go. You have to hit enter one more time. If it just says Lin Reg on the screen, hit enter, and it should calculate out. Did it do it? So now this is telling us that our equation is, our slope is 0.126. What did we say our slope was earlier when we did by hand?
Oh, I don't know.
It was 11 over 75? We're pretty close. We were saying our slope was 0.146.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's close-ish.
It's
Oh.
Our B value, basically 51 for our B value. Our B value was what, 733 over 15? 48.8 really. I mean, we were pretty close by doing a rough idea by just picking 2 points. Obviously, the calculators can be a little bit more precise as it goes through, but you can see how there can be some pretty simple variance with this. Okay?
So we're gonna do this by calculator.
Most of the time. Okay? Not too bad?
No, not if you give us a sheet.
What's that?
Not give us a
Well,
sheet.
once you, seriously, once you get used to doing this a couple times with the sheet, the steps themselves will not change whatsoever when you do all the other different regressions. Okay, the calculator is going to do all the work for you. It's just a matter of setting them through. Yes, ma'am.
Every time you do this, get the set like a list.
It's the easiest way to do it. That way you don't have to overwrite it, because what happens sometimes, some lists will have 6 data points, some will have 4, some will have 10. If you don't overwrite it all the way, you can have obscure data in your list. So it's always easier just to restart by resetting your lists. Does that make sense? Each time, yeah. Not that much. Let's do this. Let's reset our lists real quick. And let's go through this just real fast to see if we can all get the same equation again. Remember, clear your lists. Clear your list tells you back to step 1. Quit out. Second, memory. 4, enter. And then just double check, make sure you have nothing in your y equals. Back out.
Error argument.
We'll stop arguing with it.
Hey.
And then go back to your edit. Use this as your L1, L2.
Wait, what's that one?
First one.
Okay.
Okay? L1, L2, and see if we can come up with an equation of the line of best fit given these data sets.
Did you put Emmett Smith on there?
I didn't make this Fontana. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I don't want Emmett Smith.
I would.
Why? He's a giant as well.
He wasn't really easy.
You just had a good offensive line. It's really easy.
Leon Lett. Oh, that wasn't him. He was defensive. That was
You're putting yards in the L1.
Yeah. Usually what happens is that this will be your L1, this will be your L2.
Okay.
Then we'll see if there's a correlation between yards and touchdown.
I just like grab
You'll have to reset your window again. If you're resetting your window, what do you think you should set your X? If these are going to be in your X values, what do you think your X minimum would be? What would be your maximum? 20, yeah. And then the Y values, I would go 0 through maybe 120, but go by tens. Here, just go by ones. You're changing the XP by 1. There, go by 10, baby. It might fit the screen a little bit better.
It's
Does
missing
that-
1 point.
Does that make sense?
You're saying our max is 20.
Missing a point.
I'd say that my min would be at 0, my max would be at 20, and I'd go by ones. Here I'd say my min 0, max 120, but go by 10. Does that make sense how I'm changing the scale to try to get a best fit for this?
X-res?
What's that?
I don't know what the
You already
X-res
asked that question.
I don't know. Google it.
Google it.
There you go.
Graph. I think it is.
Is there a positive correlation?
It's
you
definitely
think?
positive.
So you're saying the more yards you have, the more touchdowns?
Yep.
What's the equation you're getting?
What is the equation again? Okay.
What are you getting?
Let me move in the back.
8.1 x minus 26.
Quit. Stat.
Roughly that, 8.1x minus 26.3?
Yes.
This isn't really scary, is it?
No.
A lot of prediction, things like that, putting stuff in a calculator, all right? Shall you try some?
Time out.
No.
Time out?
Okay, we got it.
All right. I actually have to remember to put these back up online. I don't have chapter 2 up, so I gotta pull that up there today.
I just gotta remember to trust this.
This is
Bus.
2.5. Who's got a book close so I can figure out what page it is? A lot of it's all straight calculator work, yeah.
Hold on. I have it.
What is that question?
Yes, ma'am.
Does the pump test last like through 12 hours then?
You guys should, it should be done by the 12th hour, they're giving you guys a little bit extra time.
So like we have to go to 12 hours?
Yeah, because you guys took the longer part yesterday, and then today's the shorter part. Because I had 12th hour, basically everybody was in 12th hour by about 15 minutes into 12th hour.
Yeah, most people finish.
If you don't want to go to 12th hour, check the phone.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm sorry, I don't wanna go to Spanish. I hate Spanish.
It's on page 103. Like I said, I don't have this unit up on the website yet. I'll get that done next hour, so I apologize for forgot to put that up.
What if your lunch is at 12 o'clock? What do you do?
Senora, we,
You go to 8th hour lunch. Same room, yep, same room.
Well, they told us
Class for
that the last one was
K-12.
12
Yeah, they'll call you guys down, but you guys know, because you guys will go there to start of 9th hour, yeah.
9, 10, yeah.
So if you got 10th hour lunch, you gotta go to 8th
Yeah.
hour lunch. Your teachers know.
I thought we get
We
Okay.
did 2 lunches today. 8,000.
You know, I think this is my try.
I thought we got.
Today would be the day to go to every single one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a